In 1990, I enrolled at Kansas State University. Now, I know I've had a few laughs at the expense of that other Kansas school, but contrary to popular belief, I didn't want to be a Wildcat because I thought they had cooler school colors or better-looking women. I wanted to be a Wildcat because of these three guys, the most influential men in my life. That's my father in the middle, my Uncle Charles on the left, and my Uncle Bill on the right. All three men attended Kansas State, so naturally I wanted to go there too. And if you couldn't tell from the uniforms, all three men bravely served their country during World War II. My Uncle Charles in the Army Medical Corps, my father as a naval fighter pilot, and my Uncle Bill as a mortarman for the 95th Division. Now, the fact that these three men are Wildcats does not mean that World War II heroes are exclusive to Kansas State. Of the brave men and women of Kansas who volunteered for their country, there are just as many Jayhawks as there are Wildcats. My Uncle Charles, in fact, was a physician who held degrees from both schools, although if pressed he would have told you he was first and foremost a Wildcat. Sadly, we lost Uncle Charles in 2003, making him part of a rather depressing statistic. You see, during World War II, 16 million people enlisted to serve their country. As of 2008, there were little more than 400,000 living World War II veterans remaining, and in the span of 1 year we've lost close to 1/4 of those numbers. Based on recent 2008 statistics, we are losing World War II veterans at a rate of approximately 1,000 per day. Of all the wars in recent memory, it was World War II that truly threatened our very existence as a nation. And yet it wasn't until 2004, almost 60 years after the Japanese surrender, that a memorial to the men and women who fought in that war was finally erected on the Mall in Washington, D.C. Sadly, many of the remaining World War II veterans are either too old or unable to afford a trip to our nation's capital to experience this monument built in their honor. That is where Honor Flight Network comes in. The Honor Flight Network is a non-profit organization created solely to honor all of America's veterans for their sacrifices by transporting our heroes to Washington, D.C. to visit and reflect at their memorials. Currently, top priority is given to those senior veterans, World War II survivors, along with those other veterans who may be terminally ill. The Honor Flight Network's mission is to do whatever it takes to fulfill the dreams of our veterans and help our senior heroes travel absolutely free. Subsequent to the World War II veterans, efforts will then be focused on our Korean War and then Vietnam War veterans, honoring them in the same way. In October 2009, my wife and I were given the highest honor of serving as guardians on an honor flight from Kansas to Washington, D.C., accompanying my father and my Uncle Bill, now 83 and 86 respectively, along with 120 of their brothers and sisters in arms. I hope you'll take just a few minutes to share in some of our experiences on this special journey and see what honor flights are truly all about. Wichita Mid-Continent Airport. There's Dad and there's Uncle Vern. Not too thrilled they gave us KU colors for these hats and stuff, but you gotta love the K-State jacket Uncle Vern's wearing. Darren Sproul's number, the works.
1/3 of the country put on uniforms and went. The other 2/3 made this the greatest industrial might the world has ever seen. The greatest country on the planet Earth.
It is that sense that every American should have, how much we respect you, how much we appreciate your service to our country, how we know that you sacrificed, and in all honesty, how much we love you.